Hello, my name is Jakob Edler. I'm Executive Director of the Fraunhofer Institute for Systems Innovation Research in Karlsruhe, Germany, and Professor of Innovation Policy and Strategy at the Manchester Institute of Innovation Research, University of Manchester. In my work, I'm interested in the conditions for the generation and application of innovations, and in particular, how innovations contribute to transformation in the economy and society. For example, in the area of energy systems or mobility systems. Personally, I'm most interested in the governance of transformations, in particular the role of the state. When the wall fell in 1989, I was busy at home in my university in Mannheim, studying political science with a focus on the Cold War. Rather than doing the right thing and rushing to Berlin, as most of my friends did, I tried to make sense of it intellectually as I saw my pet subject slide from political science into contemporary history. As a child, and this is not very creative for a German boy in the 1970s, I wanted to become a footballer. My hero was Johann Cruyff. Those as old as me or older might remember him as a genius, one of the most elegant footballers ever. He was called the king, and he had a special sovereignty based on technical abilities. So in a way, he's still a relevant metaphor. As for me, I miserably failed to reach my ambition to become a professional player, turning to academia instead. The research I present is largely conceptual, and it is the result of teamwork at Fraunhofer Institute ISI. It breaks a wall that is currently built in our political discourse and partly also in economics and innovation policy studies. The wall is built on a fear of not being able to provide the technologies and technological knowledge that we think are needed in order to sustain competitive economies in the future. This wall of fear is growing because of geopolitical developments that threaten to unleash all-out trade wars and protectionism. This is combined with the perception, certainly in Europe, that for key critical technologies, especially in the digital space, we have become vulnerable as we are dependent on competencies stemming from third countries. The corona crisis has intensified this debate, mixing in resilience in the health system. The problem we see now is that there is a vicious circle in the debate. Fears prompting reactions, increasing fears. Thus we risk turning our backs to global openness and interdependence, the very model that supported welfare for decades. The challenge our research addresses is to help us to understand the issue of technology sovereignty in ways that tear down rather than further build the wall of fear and protectionism. In a nutshell, our research provides a novel, holistic concept that is underpinned by sound methods and data to help to determine what technologies are critical and why. It also allows to decide what we can do to make sure we can provide those critical technologies or have access to them without counterproductive panic reactions. In the concept, we first provide a sound, tangible definition of technology sovereignty that we then operationalize. We distinguish why sovereignty is important and for what. We need to think of three dimensions: core duties of the state, like external and internal security, societal needs fulfilled by state and non-state actors, as well as economic competitiveness. We differentiate those three dimensions and by doing so allow an informed and more holistic debate. Only then do we propose to determine the technologies that currently contribute to the various needs and, more importantly, that are needed to do that in the future. On that basis, we then implement a number of analytical steps that allow us to determine the degree of technology sovereignty. In order to empirically determine technology sovereignty, we have developed a range of methods using a diverse number of data sources. Examples are patent and publication analysis, expert and trade statistics that we combine with technology and resource-specific production statistics, analysis of international standards, patent pools and open source repositories. We also use WTO Governance Compliance Index, World Bank's World Governance Index, various corruption indices to determine the reliability of countries. As a result, we understand what kinds of competencies and capacities we need, how access can be provided, how we can mobilize alternative sources for critical competencies and technologies, and what strategies we can design to meet our needs. Our research will benefit society in a number of ways. First, we help to tear down the wall of fear and protectionism by supporting solutions that do not reject international interdependence, but rather use it intelligently. Second, and more concretely, our research now helps policymakers to make sense of the issue, to structure our debate, as one senior ministerial official told me last week. Our application helps to focus financing in areas in which we in fact do need to provide competencies now and in the future. Third, our economies and systems will be more resilient. Public discourse will be better informed about our real future needs and the role of technology, and the build-up of truly critical competencies within our systems will increase our ability to react to future crises. Our concept is not a mechanistic decision tool, but a support instrument for public debate and prioritizing. Therefore, there are a number of unanswered questions in the application. The most critical one, in my view, is how we organize public and political discourse to determine the importance of different needs and state functions, and how we, on that basis, decide on priorities to determine and guarantee technology sovereignty.